Today we're going to be making an old-fashioned fudge. So if you remember that old-fashioned fudge that maybe your grandparents made at the holidays that was creamy and delicious and smooth and a fantastic memory, then you might want to give this recipe a try. Now, just a quick warning, this takes a lot of sugar. It's 3 cups of sugar for this recipe. So the first thing we're going to do is butter an 8x8 pan. Now I have a glass pan. I'm just going to set this aside. And we're going to put our heat on medium. And I'm going to add 3 cups of sugar. I'm going to add 1.5 cups of whole milk. I'm going to add 1/3 cup of cocoa. And this is the unsweetened cocoa. And I'm going to add 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And so all I'm going to do is let this mixture come together. I'm going to stir it. Now I'm going to have to watch this constantly. I want this to come to a rolling boil. And I have a candy, actually I don't know if this is a candy thermometer, but it's a great thermometer for a pan. You're going to need some kind of a candy thermometer or something that you can monitor the temperature of your fudge. This is one of those things that it's going to be very important to make sure that you have this up to a correct temperature so that it sets into fudge. And we're looking for a temperature of 240 degrees. This is going to be considered a softball stage. So I'm just going to stir this up, and I have it in a pretty big pan because sometimes it boils up and we don't want anything to boil over on this. So it's going to take a minute to heat up. As soon as it does, I'll show you the stirring process as it starts to get a little bit hotter. Now during this step where you're bringing your fudge up to a full rolling boil, you want to make sure to be stirring this constantly. You do not want it to burn. You do not want it to stick on the bottom of your pan. So you're going to have to watch this for a while. I don't know about you, but I love all the convenience foods that we have nowadays. I just love being able to make something real quick on a night where I've been working really hard all day and I'm tired and I want to throw something in the oven or throw something in the microwave. It just makes everything so easy, especially when you're working or maybe you have small kids or somebody you're taking care of. But you know what? You can hardly compare the convenience foods of today to some of the old-time recipes that, you know, our ancestors made. I mean, there were just so many amazing recipes. And one of the cookbooks that I liked the best was a cookbook that my grandma used all through the years that she cooked. And it was her Blue Ribbon Recipe Cookbook. Now, this cookbook was amazing because in that cookbook, it was all recipes that had won blue ribbons, sometimes multiple blue ribbons at state fairs throughout the United States. And there were so many good recipes to make pickles and fudge and cakes and candies and just all kinds of really salad dressings. I mean, a lot of people don't even realize they could make their own salad dressing. And there's so many amazing dressings that you could make these days. So anyway, I was just kind of reminiscing a little bit while I'm standing here stirring my chocolate. And I have to tell you, this Hershey's chocolate smells so good. So let me show you how it looks. It's not boiling yet, but it's getting closer. I moved the light up so that you can see it a little bit better. You can see it's, you know, all the chocolate's kind of starting to come together with the sugar. The sugar's basically dissolved in this. And now we want to just keep stirring it until we get this to the soft ball stage. And it's going to take a little while. It's probably going to take 5 minutes or so, but you know, it's kind of a fun thing to do for the holidays. I usually only make 1 or 2 recipes of fudge, and if I make it, sometimes I make the fantasy fudge that I can throw together in the microwave, but I love this old-time fudge. This is usually what I bring to the family get-togethers. All right, my mixture is starting to boil. It's not a full rolling boil, but it is starting to boil. So I'm gonna continue to stir this until it comes to a full rolling boil. And at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and attach my thermometer to the side of the pan. Full rolling boil at this point. I'm stirring it and the boil can't be stirred down. And I'll bring you back as soon as we get up to 240 degrees. If you're enjoying this video, can you give me a thumbs up or consider subscribing to my channel? It really helps my channel grow. Okay, I've got it up to the softball stage, and what I'm gonna do now is turn my burner off. And I'm gonna add a half of a stick of butter. I am not going to stir it. Do not stir this at this point. Instead, what we're gonna do is take this off the burner and we're gonna put it in some cold water until this gets down to like a lukewarm temperature. And then we're gonna stir everything together. We'll be back as soon as it's there. It's gonna take about 20 minutes. So my fudge mixture has cooled down to a lukewarm temperature. I can touch the pan with my hands. So now we're gonna go ahead and stir it into fudge. Now you can stir it. So basically what we're gonna do is combine this butter into this fudge. And it's gonna be a little bit tough, don't worry about it. You just wanna get this butter all stirred in. We're gonna add our vanilla. Just stir away at it. I wish you could smell this. It smells so amazing. I'm going to go ahead and put my nuts in now too. It'll just help me to stir it a little bit. Make sure you incorporate all this butter. I'm going to move this light over. I'm going to make sure you can see this. Hopefully that helps a little bit. And when it gets too hard to stir it, we're gonna immediately put it in our pan so that it can set up. But right now we're still getting that butter incorporated. It is getting harder to stir. And when you get to the point where this glossy look is off the fudge, we're gonna quick put it inside of our buttered pan because it'll set up in like 2 minutes. So you can see the butter is definitely stirred in. And the fudge is looking amazing. And I think it's time to go ahead and put it in our pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get this in here as quick as I can. And you just wanna, you can see it's already thickening up on me, which is fine. Get it in your pan, make it into the fudge that you like. Get it into all 4 corners. See if there's any more of this we can get off the bottom of the pan. The point, it's very difficult. It's almost like a caramel consistency right now. And I think that's gonna be about it. So we're gonna let this harden up and I'm gonna show you how it looks as soon as it's ready to cut. I wanted to show you something else that might be a money or a time saver, and that is making your own homemade vanilla. So I actually buy the vanilla beans on sale whenever they come up on Amazon. I try to find the Madagascar vanilla beans. and I just mix it with some vodka. This is just so this is 750 milliliters of vodka. I open up the vanilla beans with a knife and I put them inside of the vodka and I just let them sit in a dark place until they turn out like vanilla. And I'm not kidding. Oh, it smells amazing. So when you're cooking, this is a great way to have vanilla on hand. And I just fill up my small little vanilla container whenever it starts getting low. And I've always got vanilla on hand. You can make it with inexpensive vodka. I happen to have this on hand, so I went ahead and used it. But you think about it, a small container of vanilla sometimes is $5. And you can get a bottle of vodka for $10 and get your vanilla beans, put them together, and literally you have, I don't know, 20, 25 little containers of vanilla. It's a great bargain. So I've never been one to wait very long. So I managed to cut one piece out of here and I'll cut the rest a little later, but I did want to give it a try. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is so good. So good. So the last thing that I do before sticking this in the freezer is I just put them on a piece of parchment paper and just kind of let them sit out a little bit and finish setting up. And then I'm going to go ahead and freeze these, and then I'm going to put them in a container right before I head off for Thanksgiving. So there isn't going to be anybody at Thanksgiving who's going to send you away when you walk in with a nice little presentation of Old Fashioned Fudge. This does not taste at all like fantasy fudge. This is the real deal. So give it a try. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.